and I saw this video, and I actually, for the first time, was speechless. I had nothing to say. I go, huh, wow, okay, watch.
The first foreign visit by a mayor of New York is always considered significant. Where would you go first? Left to right, Ms. Adams.
First visit, I would visit the Holy Land.
Mr. Cuomo?
Given the hostility and the anti-Semitism that has been shown in New York, I would go to Israel.
Mr. Tilson, where would you go?
Yeah, I'd make my 4th trip to Israel, followed by my 5th trip to Ukraine, 2 of our greatest allies fighting on the front lines of the global war on terror.
Mr. Mamdani?
I would stay in New York City. My plans are to address New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs and focus on that.
Mr. Mamdani, can I just jump in? Would you visit Israel?
Wait, now he doesn't have an option. Where would you go? Watch this.
Mayor?
I will be doing, as the mayor, I'll be standing up for Jewish New Yorkers, and I'll be meeting them wherever they are across the 5 boroughs, whether that's in their synagogues and temples or at their homes or at the subway platform, because ultimately we need to focus on delivering on their concerns.
And just yes or no, do you believe in a Jewish state of Israel?
I believe Israel has the right to exist.
Not
As a Jewish state?
Notice.
As a state with equal rights.
He won't, he
Not
won't
as a
say it
Jewish
has a
state.
right to exist as a Jewish state. Be very
And
clear.
his answer was no, he won't visit Israel.
I said that.
That's what he was trying to say.
No. Unlike
No,
you, I
you
answer.
never-
Unlike
you
you, I
never
answer
said
questions
no.
very
Okay.
directly.
All right.
My goal would be to take my first trip to Israel. My wife's life work in this area means a lot to our family, and it could coincide with my young son Miles' bar mitzvah, if you'd like to have his bar mitzvah.
It is insane to see that at even a mayoral city level, that you would think it was just coincidence that everyone's going to Israel, which is fine. It's a great place to visit, I hear. But then when some guy goes, I don't actually feel like going, and they go, but would you go? Imagine someone says that. It's like, hey, where are you going tonight? Oh, later, guys, I'm leaving work. I'm going to get drinks. And then someone's like, yeah, I'm going to go get drinks too. And you're like, no, I'm going to go home. And then your boss goes, excuse me? You're going home? But would you go get drinks? You're like, I mean, I have no problem with people getting drinks, but would you yourself go grab drinks? What do you mean? Do you think people have the right to grab drinks? I think drinking alcohol is a legal right of people. Yeah, but you didn't say that they should be getting drinks right now. And you're going, what's going on here? This is very weird. It was like it was a shit test, and he failed.
And then everybody jumps in too. They're like, see, he didn't say it. He should have said Israel.
He's
How
got
dare
my
he not
vote.
say it?
I don't even live there. He's got my vote.
And the worst part is that guy, I mean, all their answers are terrible, but that guy's terrible as well. I've seen a lot of his campaign ads. He's not even speaking in English. He's talking about how he wants to give health care to illegals. He's totally against immigration. So, yeah.
There's a lot going on in that clip. That's really crazy.
Did you see that before?
No, I hadn't actually. I'm really confused why there's like a set foreign trip for the mayor of New York. I don't understand the logic behind that.
It's so that they can go to Israel.
Yeah,
apparently
it's just that the mayor of New York has to go to Israel apparently, which I wasn't aware of, that this is like a requirement.
Yeah, the funny thing is that video
It'd be crazy
was
if our
cropped.
presidents did it too.
Wait, you're
No,
just
that'd be
finding
so
out
weird
that
if
people are
presidents
required to
went
go there?
with the little with the wall and the hat and everything.
With the
little top
with the kippah.
The little yarmulke.
My favorite answer is the guy who says, I will be on my 4th trip to Israel. He really wanted you to know that.
Well, it's funny because you cropped the clip. Like, we didn't have
It's
time
that
to play the
AIPAC money.
entire clip because Cuomo goes on for like a minute about how much he loves Israel and wants to go there and combat anti-Semitism. And then everybody else picked Israel too. And then the one guy who I'm like, wow, I like this one stance of his, is arguably like the most liberal out of all of them. So it goes back to nothing ever changes. Nothing happens.
By the way, I mean, I just found it interesting. I was watching the sign language interpreter, and I just love to pick up different cultures, different languages. I did know that this was the sign for Israel, so you learn something new every day.
Oh, there you go. Congratulations.
Dude, congratulations, everyone.
Yeah,
so it's like that.
congratulations,
Wait,
yeah.
is it like this or this? Is it
I think
this
it's
way or
more of
this
a
way?
rubbing. Like you have to show like I'm dedicated to this.
No,
You got to
actually,
do this. Yes. You
actually,
go like this.
You're washing your
it's the
hands?
Palestinians and an Israelis joining hands together.
No, it's the
that's
beautiful.
beautiful.
It's the beautiful black men from Senegal marrying the Jewish women. That's what this is.
Yeah.
There's really no winning. And the reason why there's no winning on this issue more than any other issue is because it's actually the real issue that's the number one defining issue of everything at all. It's the only issue that whether you're on the right or the left in the establishment, it is something that you cannot touch on, you cannot talk about if you want to have any success, whether you're in the media industry, music, Hollywood, whether you're in, political media, I am telling you this, it is absolutely, like, literally crazy that it's like, this is mean. I shouldn't say this because it would be mean to my friends, but it's like, I watched who Fox News interviewed the last 5 days about what was going on, and they chose people who intentionally worked for very, very strong Zionist organizations. And they won't have anybody on who, there's a couple people who've been on that got really, really incredible footage that they played who I had worked with in 2020 who have recently come out in favor of Palestine. And they're not allowed on Fox. They're not allowed on MSNBC. They're not allowed on these networks anymore. Yeah. And they'll bring on these other people. And the left-wing outlets will even interview the right-wing people now that are pro-Zionist rather than choosing their own liberal journalists to interview simply because they've been directed not to interview people who are pro-Palestine. And it's a really sad issue because if you're in media and you're in our position, you're trying to seek the truth. And there's really no upside or benefit in our sphere to be honest about this country, this issue, this topic. There's really no benefit. So when you do it, you're punished. And then when you take a step of faith and you at least you choose how far you want to go into it, you're honest about it. The people that want you to be honest, just like the slut thing, are like, that's not honest enough. You didn't say enough. You don't talk about it enough. You didn't go over it enough. Like, dude, how many times do I need to tell you? We know this country occupies the United States. We know that our government's under control of their lobby groups. We understand, yes, like the critics, not all politicians under their control, and there are other people who have influence and control in our nation, but nowhere to that extent, and the disproportionate extent that they control our politicians to the size of the nation is alarming, because if China has some influence, well, it's a huge, $1 trillion economy, and it's, been around for thousands of years, and it might make a little sense to the number one trade partner, but we don't fly Chinese flags in our offices. You know what I mean? So like that's to the extent people say, why are you concerned about them? Because their flags are flown in our offices. I don't know if you're willing to share your recent experience recently, but this goes in the evangelical church. This goes all around, that you will see above the American flag, the Israeli flag flown. And it's something that deeply disturbs me, because it's like you fly the flag you have an allegiance to, and they'll be like, don't fly a pride flag in my church because we're allegiances to God. But in your political conference, you fly their flag. Then where's your allegiance to? If you don't want a Mexico flag flown, why are you flying their flag?